Okay, now okay. So, okay, understanding of Gita. When Sanatana Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the Swarupa of every living being, the Lord replied that Swarupa means the constitutional position, which means our original position. We can be a mother or daughter or student or whatever, but our original position is the question here. What are we originally? All right, so the Lord replied that the Swarupa or constitutional position of the living being is the rendering of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Means our constitutional position is the servant of the Lord. If we analyze this statement of Lord Chaitanya's, we can easily see that every living being is constantly engaged in rendering service to another living being. So you can see, you notice that you'll be serving everybody at every point of time. All right. A living being serves other living beings in various capacities. By doing so, the living entity enjoys life. The lower animals serve human beings as servants serve their master. A serves B master, B serves C master, and C serves D master, and so on. Under these circumstances, we can see that one friend serves another friend, the mother serves the son, the wife serves the husband serves the wife, and so on. If we go on searching in this spirit, it will be seen that there is no exception in the society of living beings to the activity of service. All right, the politician presents his manifesto for the public to convince them of his capacity for service. The voters therefore give the politician their valuable votes, thinking that he will render valuable service to society. The shopkeeper serves the customer, the artisan serves the capitalist serves the family, and the family serves the state in the terms of the eternal capacity of the eternal living being. In this way, we can see that no living being is exempted from rendering service to other living beings, and therefore we can safely conclude that service is the constant companion of the living being, and that the rendering of service is the eternal religion of the living being. So you always notice that you will be serving somebody. Nobody can say that they are not serving anyone. Even the biggest boss, he has to serve somebody. Probably he's serving his children or wife, or you could be, if you could be serving your pets, or you could be serving your parents. All right, so all this service, and then you serve the community, that is also a service. So you always serve, because that is the nature. That is our nature. We always want to serve somebody, right? And it is said that even if you're not serving anybody, if you really claim that I'm not serving anybody, I'm the boss of my own, then you are actually serving your senses. Your eyes want to see that, and then you are serving your senses. Your mouth wants to taste this, and then you are serving the mouth. So this is all service. All right, why we always want to find something to serve? Because that is our natural tendency as the spirit soul. All right, and then here Prabhupada says, right, if we go on searching in this spirit, if you go on and searching, why the origin is serving? Because we are meant to serve the Lord. So until and unless we come to that point, we will always find peace and happiness and bliss in trying to serve something. So the search is very difficult to come to an end until we find out who are we actually supposed to serve. All right, so very important, yeah. Swarup means constitutional position, the original position. Okay, so we move to chapter 16. Okay, so in chapter 16, there is a connection between chapter 15 and 16. Chapter 15 describes the banyan tree of the material world. Remember this? Okay. So in chapter 14, hold on. Okay, so if you remember the tree where we started, all right, this is the root here, and then we have all the divine beings here, and then as we go on, and then we have a lower beings, and finally we have animals. Okay, so you remember this picture here? the roots is going deep and deep and deep. We don't know where it is ending, and all these leaves are enjoyments. And how do we enjoy? We are nourished by the three modes of material nature. So we are using the twigs, the sense objects, to enjoy. So all our activities are nourished by the three modes of material nature. So when we do this, we enjoy what we call as fruits. Okay, so and then we analyze how to cut this tree, because the root is going so deep and deep and deep, and the leaves is like so big. We don't know, we are jumping from branches to branches, whether it's horizontally or vertically, or going down or upward. So we found the solution that we need to do something to this tree. So what we decided to do last week, can anybody recall that? What did we do to the tree? Whatever that you all can recall. Okay, cut it down. What else? Cut it down with what? Cut it, okay, a strong axe? Is it a strong axe? Axe of detachment, okay, very good. A sharp axe. And how do we sharpen it? Okay, we cut down with the axe, and an axe that is sharpened with knowledge. Very good. Okay. All right, cut down this strongly rooted tree with weapon of detachment, sharpened with knowledge. Okay, so we don't want the reflection, we want the real tree, right? Okay, so this is an overview, 13 to 15. So from 13 to 15, we covered what is the soul, what is the super soul. If you remember all the kshetra, feel, body, all that, we covered that. So the purpose of receiving this knowledge is to find the way to liberation. This is the starting point. All right, and because we know we are not the matter, we are the spirit. And in chapter 40, we learned about how these three modes are binding us. All right, and the conclusion that we made is we try to avoid as much as we can avoid the passion and ignorance, because if you are in ignorance, it's very difficult to revive ourselves. While in passion, you have to be careful so you don't fall to ignorance. We try to consciously move upward to goodness, because in goodness, it's like you are staying near an airport, so you can easily take the flight to the spiritual world. Remember a guy who was in an airport, unless he takes the flight, he cannot. So he cannot remain in the airport forever. He has to take the flight and go. Okay, so we cannot be complacent in the goodness as well. All right, in chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga. So Krishna spoke about that he is the super soul. Of course, we covered the banyan tree and how the modes of material nature nourish both the upper branches and the lower branches. All right, so what nourishes on the upper branches? What is nourishing on the lower branches? That Krishna will explain in chapter 16. All right. So this is the tree. The divinity, the divinity nourishes the upper portion. Okay, this is upper portion. This is, imagine this is the original tree, the imperishable tree where Krishna mentioned in the beginning of chapter 15, right? So there is an imperishable banyan tree. So here in chapter 40, we heard about the three modes of material nature. And then we want to avoid the mode of passion and ignorance. Okay, in 15, this is the tree that Krishna talked about, right? Roots up and branches down. Okay, so it was described that those who are in the mode of goodness, they are in the upper part of the tree. And those in the passion and ignorance are in the lower part. Okay, so that's how the characteristics is categorized here. The upper portion is nourished by divine qualities, and the lower parts are nourished by demonic qualities. So in chapter 16, Krishna will describe to us that there are only two natures, divine and demonic, nothing in between. Okay, you cannot say, oh Mataji, but I know I'm not so divine, but at the same time I'm not so demonic. So there is no in between. It's either here or here. Okay, so this is what we will learn. Those who possess demonic qualities and who live whimsically without following the regulation of scriptures attain lower births and further material bondage. This is the ultimate conclusion. But those who possess divine qualities and live regulated lives, abiding by scriptural authority, gradually attain spiritual perfection. Okay, so what are we going to look at is that chapter 16 will explain the divine qualities. We'll identify, will indicate and explain the divine qualities that elevate one on the tree and leads ultimately to liberation. Okay, it will also explain the demoniac qualities and the mentality which drives one on the lower part of the tree and ultimately to lower species of life, abominable species of life, or even hell ultimately. Okay, so these are the two things we're going to cover today: demoniac qualities and divine qualities. Okay, so let's start. 16.1, Amita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, text 1 to 3. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhir Yana Yoga Vyavastitiha Dhanam Dhamascha Yachnascha Swatyayastapa Aljavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodas Jaga Santir Apaisunam Daya Bhute Svi Alo Duktvam Mardavam Hiri Achapalam Teja Shama Driti Saucham Adroho Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So we have a long list of qualities under the divine nature. So before we go one by one, I will not explain everything, but I will just dissect that in the table format. So there are 4 ashramas, all right? Grihastha, Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. Okay, Brahmachari is where a person undergoes celibacy and austerity, celibate, all right? And then they get married and they enter Grihastha ashram, householder life. All right. So after the person, this is actually a man, right? Generally referring to man. So when he gets old, he has children who are able to take care of the mother. He will go on in search of spiritual knowledge. He will leave home. He will travel, Vanaprastha. He will stay in different places. All right. So after that, after he goes through all these purification processes and he can finally renounce everything, okay, in the service of God, he is called sannyasi. Just give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. So highest is sannyasa. Okay, that is the topmost. Now all these qualities are meant for a particular ashrama. All right. Some ashrama, this quality is very particular, very prominent. But some qualities, all the people in all the ashrams can follow. So that's what we will see now. Okay. So what is applicable, very prominent for us? What is applicable generally for everybody? So that's what we're gonna see. Okay, so if you see fearlessness, right? Fearlessness is something very special, very prominent in the sannyasa ashram, because sannyasa means they travel everywhere, they preach, so they have complete dependence of Lord's mercy because of that. So they have to preach fearlessly. So they have to have this prominently in them. All right, and then as they engage in these services, they undergo purification. All right, I mean they are purified. Their existence is purified in that sense. So that is applicable for sannyasis. How? By strictly following rules and regulations, especially forbidden intimate association with women. So they cannot be together with a woman. All right. Cultivation of knowledge is applicable for sannyasa because they have to give knowledge to grihasthas. They have to as a guru, they have to guide them. So that's why these three qualities are quite prominent for sannyasa, applicable. Charity. So grihasthas are encouraged to do charity in the mode of goodness. If you remember, what is charity in the mode of goodness? Doing out of duty, free from pride and expectation for benefit. So this is charity in goodness. Okay, and they have to ensure that the charity is given to the right person at the right place, right time. Okay, so these are the things that you have to ensure if you want to give charity. So grihasthas are encouraged to provide charity so that they develop detachment from the results, the fruitive activities they are performing. Okay, self-control is applicable for all, especially grihasthas, because the sex life they have to utilize to raise God-conscious children. So in that way, self-control is applicable for all, especially grihasthas. Okay, sacrifice. So similar to this, grihasthas, they have to do sankirtana yagya, means do kirtan. They engage in such activities. Okay, Vedic study is applicable for brahmacharis. This is the dharma of brahmachari. They have to hear lessons, classes, hear from scriptures. So in that way, they will engage their mind in the study of Vedic literature. Okay, let's move on to this one. Austerity is applicable for all. There is austerity of body, mind, tongue. Okay, so actually speech, body, mind and speech. The details we will do in chapter 17. Simplicity is applicable for all. We have to be simple and straightforward. Okay, non-violence also applicable for all. Not standing in the way of progressive life of any living entity. So when we kill an animal, we are actually checking their progress, because the cycle is that they have to evolve. They have to evolve through the transmigration process, okay, to become human and then elevate to, to higher life. So when we slaughter them or kill them, we're actually checking, and they have to come back as that same life, the species. So their process is repeating. So this quality is applicable for all. Okay, truthfulness applicable for all, of course. So we should not distort the truth for some personal interest. For example, misinterpreting Bhagavad Gita. Okay, freedom from anger applicable for all. Even if there is provocation, one should be tolerant. Anger is a product of passion and lust. So anger is one of the 3 gates to hell, which we'll cover at the end, towards end of this chapter. Renunciation is applicable for all, which means renunciation means you do not renounce your desire, or you don't renounce your activity. It means we use things properly, utilize the things properly, the facilities in Krishna's service. So that is renunciation. Okay, and renounce from the result of it, not result from the not renounce from the activity. Tranquility. So everybody can use this quality to become peaceful and equipoised. Okay, continue. Aversion to fault finding applicable to all. We don't want to unnecessarily do this fault finding. Okay, because because when we want to find fault, we always find faults. All right, so we have to, we don't want to do this. Okay, so we want to discourage doing this. Compassion for all living entities is applicable for all. We want to be compassionate to everybody. So what is the ultimate compassion? Okay, you can give charity, you can give some material help, but these are all temporary and it finishes in due course. All right, so what can we give, what charity can we give that can long last? Okay, spiritual knowledge is a long lasting. Prashadam, books, holy name, this is the best charity, and it accompanies somebody throughout this life and beyond. Okay. Freedom of covetousness. Covetousness means greedy. So we have to be free from this quality. How do we do this? Through charity and renunciation. Gentleness applicable for all. We want to be gentle and friendly to all living entities. All living entities are not just everyone. We want to be gentle to all living entities. Modesty, everything in within measure, right? Everything in a control. So that's keeping within measure. So how? By not performing any abominable actions and by being very modest. Okay. Steady determination, applicable for all, means we not to be agitated or frustrated in our efforts. Okay, regardless of failures. Vigor is applicable for Kshatriya. They must be able to give protection to those who need it. So vigor is a very prominent quality that should be within a Kshatriya. Okay, next is forgiveness. All, especially Kshatriyas. So forgive minor offenses of others. When one is able to curb down his enemies, he may, under certain conditions, show forgiveness. Fortitude. So this is the strength everybody needs, especially Kshatriyas, because they need to use mental and emotional strength when facing difficult situations. So if you see in the onset of the Bhagavad Gita, so this is the aspect we were looking at, right? Arjuna didn't want to fight, all right? So he was losing composure. He said one of the symptoms was losing composure. Cleanliness. Of course, everybody has to have this quality. Internally, externally is like bathing, brushing, shaving, and all this external. Internally means reading, hearing, chanting. This is internal. So external and internal cleanliness. Freedom from envy is applicable for all, which means we are not to be resentful of another person. And then finally, freedom from the passion for honor. All is applicable for all. So which means we must respect others. One should not be puffed up with unnecessary prestige and honor. We are not only don't only expect detach ourselves from honor, receiving honor, but we have to be detached from this desire of seeking honor. Okay, one should not be puffed up with unnecessary prestige and honor, but remain in one's own status. So this is the breakdown of all the qualities, and you can see that some are applicable, more applicable to one ashrama. Some are applicable for all the ashramas. Okay. Okay, 16.4. Ajita Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 16.4. Damho darpo bhimanascha krodha parusham evacha ajnanam cha bhijatasya partha sampadamasurim. Those pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Partha. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so I will give an acronym for this. For this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in purport, you will see Prabhupada will give a term. He will give a term, royal road to hell. Okay, so this demonic nature, having this demonic nature is a royal road to hell. Okay, look at this acronym, all right? Apache. Okay, if you can see the A, arrogance, P, pride, A, anger, C, conceit, H, harsh speech, harshness, and I, ignorance. So if you put them in this arrangement, you will get short term, Apache. Okay, so Prabhupada assured us that this quality, the Apache, APACHI, which Krishna has mentioned here, will definitely take us to hellish planets. Because this is the summary of a demoniac nature. Summary, this is not even the list of the demonic quality, this is summary. So all will come under this 6. So we should always keep a check on ourselves whenever these qualities try to crop up in our life. Okay, so there is the story here. This is about 2 roosters. They lived in a village. They were friends originally. Then one day they had this, they had a fight. Who is the supreme in their farmyard? Okay, so finally, and then there was a fight. So finally, one was defeated, and he went back to his den, right, hen house. He went back. The one with the one who was victorious, you know what he did? He flew to the roof of the barn and began to shout, "I won! I won! I won!" like that. Suddenly, a eagle swooped down and carried him away. So the victorious rooster became a prey, became a victim to the eagle, because he was so proud. He was angkat bakul, right, blowing his trumpet, right. So the rooster which was defeated earlier, suddenly became proud, because now he has become the supreme. So like this pride itself can kill us. Okay, so that's why Prabhupada said the pride paved the royal road to hell for the rooster. So similarly, many times we invite danger by exhibiting this pride and arrogance. So victory or loss is determined by the Lord. And we have to understand that we are not the owner of whatever qualities we may seem to possess. Okay, Krishna is the ultimate owner of everything. Okay, we are at the best, we are only acting as a trustee. Okay, provided we act according to the will and the direction of the Lord in managing these possessions. So act accordingly. And we should always be aware that of this fact that the seemingly so-called qualification that we have is nothing but temporary rented powers. Okay, it's been entrusted to us. So as soon as the Lord sees that we are becoming very conscious or possessive of this qualification, or begin to claim ownership, or even abuse, so immediately the Lord will arrange to take it away from us. So we have to be very conscious, we have to be very careful that this Apache will not affect us. So we have to be careful when it crops up, we have to slash it down. All right, so right, Apache, highway to hell. Okay, so let's see what happens to people who has these qualities. Who goes where? All right, 16.5. Apara Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 16.5. Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandaya surimata ma sucha sampadam daivim abhijatosi pandava. The transcendental qualities are conductive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, the word is conducive to liberation. So this is the destiny of divine and demonic. Okay, saintly qualities lead to liberation and demonic qualities lead to bondage. That's what the text is saying. And then Krishna is encouraging Arjuna, saying that he is born of saintly qualities and he's fighting, therefore his fighting is not demonic. So we will see why. All right. So this verse is actually providing the basis for Krishna to consider that Arjuna is born of saintly qualities or divine qualities, and his fighting is not demonic, because that's what he's been worrying, right? He is worried of creating a sinful reaction by killing his relatives. All right, so why? Because Krishna noticed that Arjuna had tried to consider the pros and cons. For example, Arjuna considered whether is it okay for a respectable persons like Bhishma and Drona to be killed, okay, and then to perform the regulatory principles of different orders of life is transcendental action or not. Okay, he wasn't sure, and then he was worried about the destruction of the family. So he gave how many reasons? That's D, right? 5 reasons he gave. So this is where Krishna saw that Arjuna tried to consider good and bad, because he possessed the divine qualities. And then Krishna tried to tell him that for a Kshatriya, shooting arrows at the enemy is considered transcendental. And by doing and not doing so is demonic. There were other chapter where Krishna said not to do your duty is sinful. Right? It's not that what you do is sinful, it's when you're not doing your duty that is sinful. So similarly, Krishna is saying here, for a Kshatriya, shooting arrows at the enemy is considered transcendental. That's his duty. And not doing so is demonic. Okay, so the other way. Okay, so still Krishna is trying to explain about these two beings. Kantimati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavad Gita 16.6. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Dau Bhuta Sargau Loke Smin Daiva Asura Evacha Daivo Vistara Saha Prokta Asuram Partha Me Shrinu. O son of Partha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demonic. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, Mataji. So Krishna is saying there are two kinds of created beings. So you know Prajapatis. Prajapati is one of the origin persons who created progenies, right? So yes, people with the demon qualities and demons and the divine being and the demonic being both came from the Prajapatis. Now, how to differentiate these two category of people is by one thing: their obedience to the regulatory principles of scriptures. One is obedient, one is against, not obedient. All right, so that is the difference. So this is what Krishna is telling in this verse. There are two kinds of people. People protesting, saying that okay, scriptures is not meant to be followed. So this is demoniac qualities. Okay, and then people also say, I'm not divine, but I'm also not demoniac either. So there is no in between. That's why I said in the beginning, there is no in between. There is no in between highway, no shortcut. It's either the only two kinds of created being. One is divine, one is demonic. So in the beginning, Krishna described about divine qualities in just one verse, right? All the many qualities. But if you see the majority of the rest of this, like we are now in 16.6, from 16.7 onwards, Krishna is going to talk about demonic qualities. He's giving priority for us to understand what is this demonic qualities. Okay, so two kinds of created being. Okay, remember, yeah, divine and demonic. Okay, now Krishna is going to explain about the demonic. So I hope we have covered this. This one, transcendental quality, conducive liberation, whereas the demonic qualities leads to bondage. So these two you have to remember. Okay, they are destination of these two beings. Okay, so 16.7, Chandra Prabha Mataji.
Good evening, everyone. Bhagavad Gita 16.7.
Yes, Mataji.
Pravritim cha nivritim cha janana vidur asura na chaucham napi chacharo na satyam tesu vidyade. Those who are demonic do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So we are entering the demoniac natures. Okay, after Krishna briefly explained the demonic nature in 16.4, the acronym Apache, Krishna is going to explain them in detail. Now, can somebody tell me what is that Apache? Can somebody put in the chat box? What is A? What is P? What is A again? What is C, H, and I?
I can try. Pride, P for pride.
A
A
is
for
what, Mataji?
arrogance.
Uh-huh.
Coincide, anger, harshness, and ignorance. Is
Is
it?
it 6? Is it 6, Mataji? Arrogance.
Anger, harshness, and ignorance. I think so.
Okay, yeah, I think you got all. Yeah, semua ada. Okay, class monitor sudah cakap semua ada. Okay. Alright, arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness, ignorance. Okay, got it. So highway to hell. I don't know what song is that, Mataji. Is it an old song? Maybe like I'll check out later. Okay, so yeah, Apache, highway to hell. Okay, so now Krishna will explain them in detail from point 7 to point 20. Okay, and then Arjuna will see that he himself, as well as he is fighting, is free from demoniac tendencies. So basically, this verse is establishing the demoniac nature. They don't know what is to be done and what is not to be done. AD disease. Okay, let me check that out, Mataji. All right, so what else? What is their main characteristics? They do not have cleanliness, and they do not have proper behavior, and they do not have truth. Okay, number one, they don't know what is to be done. Number two, what is not to be done. They don't know this. Either because they don't cultivate the knowledge, or they simply don't know. They simply engage in activities because they just simply don't know that that is not good, right? And then no cleanliness, no proper behavior, no truth. I am not so young either, Mataji. I'm 41. So, okay, so there is a very scene from Mahabharata. Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, I'm coming to that, Mataji. Sekejap. Okay, actually, I don't have Astro, so I don't know this picture is from where or whatever. Okay, so this is deceit, right? This is the what? The chess game, right? In the chess game, what happened? There's a deceit happened, right? Cheating happened. So can you see here? There's no proper behavior, no truth. So that's demoniac. That's demoniac quality. Okay, so this is a very clear description of the demoniac nature. They don't know what should be done. They don't know what should not be done. Therefore, they commit a lot of sinful activities. Okay, like I mentioned, they don't know, they don't think this is sinful. So they just go on acting. Okay, they take alcohol, they kill, they take drugs, they rob. Okay, simply because either they don't know that it's it's bad thing to do, or simply ignorant. Okay, yeah. Yes, Mataji, Jahiliya. Yeah, that's ignorance, right? Okay, so they don't think. They do all kind of sinful things. They don't give importance to cleanliness. Their behavior is not civilized, and often they do not speak the truth. So this can be very general qualities of person of demoniac nature. They can speak philosophy, but just to satisfy their demoniac nature. Yeah, remember in the introduction, I was reading and then I laughed when the line comes. The politician gives a manifesto and the voters, the citizen vote, thinking that the politician will keep their promises. So that part I laughed. Actually, we know they won't, right? So what to do? Have to do our duty. Okay, so yeah, the demons are not clean either externally or internally. Right? One should always be careful to keep his body clean by bathing, brushing teeth, shaving, changing clothes. This is external cleanliness. As far as the internal cleanliness is concerned, one should always remember the holy names of God, chant the Maha Mantra. Okay, so the demons, they neither like nor follow all these rules for external and internal cleanliness. They don't. So there are certain Garuda Purana. Yeah, I'm waiting for part 2, see whether it's covered there or not, Mataji. Mataji, somebody's mic, Mataji. I can't see. Okay. Okay, so here you see that I think the Duryodhana part will come a bit later. I will explain that later when the Ravana pictures come. Okay. So yeah, this is the point here, right? They do not know what is to be done, what is not to be done. No knowledge, ignorant of the knowledge. 13-15. Yashodamai Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Ken Mataji.
Itam Ajñamaya tam. Sorry again.
Mataji, it's okay if you want to just do the English, that's fine, no problem. Or you want to try? It's up to you.
Okay. Itam Ajñamaya lopam imam plasye manoratam itam astitam apime pavisyati pulatanam asau maya hatasatro Hani se chaparan api. Iswaro ham aham bogi. Sito ham paravam suki. Atyopi charavam asmi. Konyo sti satriso maya. Yakshe tasyami motisha. Itya jana vimohitaha.
Nice, Mataji. Thank you.
The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so before this 13, a very related verse on the 12th. Can somebody open your Bhagavad Gita and read for us? Point 12. It's actually 11 to 12. Can somebody read that quickly for us? Who has Bhagavad Gita in the hand? Anyone? Kajai Mataji, I know you are a person who always bring book in your hand.
You can do it in English. I have the book with me.
Can give the translation, Mataji. 11 to 12.
Can I just read the translation or you
Yes,
need
yes, English. Yeah, translation.
11 to 12? They believe that, is that the right one? I think that's the right one.
Correct. Yes, that's the one.
They believe that to gratify the senses unto the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, there is no end to their anxiety. Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, by lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification.
Yes. So the point here is that by hook or crook, they want to secure money for sense gratification. And then we come to this one. And then demoniac person thinks, so much wealth I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. So he will go on engaging in this, whether it's abominable or illegal or unlawful activities. He is my enemy, and then a person who wants to get rid of their enemy, this is how they will think. He is my enemy, I have killed him, and my other enemies also I will kill. Okay, whether bomb ke, cement ke, whatever. Okay, so to be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. So this is what they think. Doing activities unlawfully and killing people, and then they think they are powerful and happy. Okay, so and then they will say, okay, I will give some charity. So with this, there's little penances people do, right? They do a lot of sinful activities and they do some charity, thinking that everything will be nullified in that way. Yeah, so that is ignorance. That is demoniac. This shouldn't be done that way. Killing, actually, unfortunately, yes, Mataji. Killing, yeah, we are hurting. Yeah, I know. If you attended the Garuda Purana, somebody asked that the Garuda Purana talk, somebody asked, I'll kill a lot of cockroaches. How? Then that Prabhu said, yeah, sometimes I also accidentally kill some insects or whatsoever, right? So he said, seek forgiveness, right? If you've done it unconsciously, so seek forgiveness. So why the cockroach come? Because our environment is not clean, right? So because of that lah, Mataji. So try to prevent them instead of killing them. Okay, these are unavoidable, Mataji. So yeah, it's normal, I think. Okay, so these are these pictures here. We have pictures here, right? This is Duryodhana and that's Ravan. Ravana is a great king, but unfortunately he committed greatest sin. So the downfall of Ravana. Exactly. Right. Let's see what went wrong with him. Okay. Okay. So these are the classic demons. We would say Duryodhana, Ravana. They are very well known in the scriptures. Ravana, Duryodhana, Kamsa, all this. So in the Kali Yuga, we don't have people like them on our planet. Okay. We are not the Ravana level of demon or Duryodhana. But we have people with the same mentality. Can you see this part here, right? This actually, it hits me really hard, because when this person is thinking, he's my enemy, I have killed him. And in future, there'll be more enemies and I'm going to kill them. So this is what's happening, right? Yeah, this is what's happening. This is sad, right? Okay, so and then if there's any so if there's other enemy, the demon will just get him killed, so he may not be able to disturb his activity. So we see that, right? I don't want to go so much into our politics, so that's happening. So the demonic person is so foolish that he thinks I am the controller. What's wrong with my mouse? Okay. All right, so he thinks everything is happening under his direction. He thinks that everything belongs to him and everything is for his enjoyment. He will think that I don't have bad qualities. I am perfect. I am powerful. I am happy and all this. I'm enjoying my health, my power, and so on. Nobody is equal to me and I am the greatest. So this is the nature of the mode of passion and ignorance. People in the mode of passion and ignorance. So we have to be very careful if we are in this mode, if all these qualities are cropping up. Because in the next life, we may come back to the earthly kingdom, we will take a human body. Or we may take a human body, but remember, there are 400,000 species of human. So we don't know which consciousness we're going to fall under or fall in or take birth in. Or the worst is in lower species of life like animal. So this is the nature of mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance means one has demonic qualities. Okay, remember, we may not be big demons, but we are little demons. Within everyone, there are some good qualities and some bad qualities. So my Guru Maharaj explained that we have two wolves in our body. I think Guru Maharaj gave class last Saturday. Right, so there are two wolves, good wolf and bad wolf. So we have to be careful which one do we feed. We want to feed the wolf with good and divine qualities or feed the bad one with demonic qualities. So we have a choice to make. Okay, so come to Ravan. So Ravan had everything in the world. There are some people, they actually worship Ravan because they say he's such a great musician or great artist. What else? He's got very good language proficiency, and apparently that all his 10 heads are some expert in something, something good. If you all have heard something about him, why people worship, can you? Yeah, the Veena player, very good. Yes, Mataji. Yes, correct. Yeah, I used to hear that. Oh, that's his Veena, is it? But what happened, like Tamare Mataji say, he made one great, he had a great flaw. He had everything, but he desired somebody else's spouse. Okay, so this is the demon qualities. It's not enough, never enough. He's the biggest devotee of Lord Shiva. Yes, that is why Lord Ram, he approached Lord Shiva to inform Lord Shiva first, so that I have to devour this demon because he's gone overboard. Okay. But Mataji, earlier point states one can be demon or divine only. Can't be partial or semi of both. How to understand earlier point and this one? So he is demonic, Mataji, because that one quality has already caused his downfall. So he is a demon. That is not a half demon, a half divine. So there is no such thing for Ravan. He is a demon. Outrightly, he is a demon. Okay. So he's not. It's true that Krishna said that is no either way. Okay, and he wasn't. If it has some divine qualities, he wouldn't have done that, right? He wouldn't have kidnapped Mother Sita. Okay, so how about Hiranyakashipu? Hiranyakashipu is also a demon because he wanted to compete with the Lord himself. So that is the mood of demon. Okay, and Duryodhana is a personification of envy. Okay, Karna, interesting. Yeah, I know there are a lot of people who love Karna, saying that he's very loyal to his friend. But remember, Karna kept quiet when Draupadi was being stripped. So that is one thing I can tell right now, that Karna did not have divine qualities in that sense. So he did many things. If you read few qualities about why Karna is not a good person, is one of these. Okay. All right. Anything else? Anybody can try to answer, no problem. I'm sure you all are very knowledgeable in Mahabharata as well. Okay. So we move on, yeah? Okay, 19 to 20. Jai Mani Mataji.
Mataji, I choose to translate only today.
Can. Boleh, can Mataji.
Yeah, so I will read from the text that you have put on the screen, right?
Yes. Are you reading, Mataji? Can't hear you.
Yes, I'm going to start.
Okay.
Those, Bhagavad Gita 16.19 to 20, translation, those who are ambitious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth amongst, oh dear, it's the screen is being blocked by the chat.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. Thank you.
Okay, right. So this is the fate. This verse is about the fate of the demoniac nature, people and in the demoniac nature. They're perpetually cast into various demonic wombs in the ocean of material existence. Okay, so this is 19, and 20 is they gradually glide down to hell when this thing continuously happen, because nobody saved them. They are not able to be saved. Okay, so this is describing the results of people who are full with the mode of passion and ignorance. So the first point is, such people, despite of having a human body, all right, should they continue, if they continue with their bad mentality, they will end up getting animal body in jungle or somewhere. All right. And then the next point is that they will take birth in such bodies again and again, and because they don't want to be a civilized human being or to follow the scriptures, they get animal bodies according to their desires, and then they go on staying in animals' bodies for a long time. All right, perpetually cast into ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. And then when this process goes on and on and on, okay, they can never approach Krishna. It's very difficult to save them. And then they gradually sink to the most abominable type of existence, which is going to the hellish planets or the lower planets. Okay, so these are the points, right? 4 points here. Okay, they are perpetually cast into various demonic wombs in the ocean of material existence, and then they attain repeated birth among demonic species. So such person cannot approach me, Krishna says. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence, and they ultimately glide down to hell. Okay, so demonic species of people, they're always full of lust, always violent, hateful, and always unclean. These are the demonic natures. Okay, and so what is the example? If you ask what is the example of demonic species of life, means the many kind of hunters in the jungle. So life after life, they are put into demonic wombs, go down and down, at last achieve bodies like cats, dogs, hogs. Okay, so these are all mentioned in the Vedas. So what is the hope for such beings, for such people, for such living entities? Basically, there is no chance of receiving God's mercy at any point, at any stage of life. So when we realize that we are in the mode of passion or ignorance, we want to move up rather than move down. Okay. Okay. So once you are an animal, you cannot be saved. Can? If you get a nice owner, if you take prasadam, if you hear harikatha, if the animal join in the sankirtan, can? Why not? Because there's once in Mahaprabhu pastime, there was a dog. The dog joined in Mahaprabhu's pastime, and when at the end of the dog's life, they actually saw the dog soul is liberated. I don't have that exact explanation, but it is said that the dog has gone to the spiritual world. So of course that happened during Mahaprabhu's pastime. And then we have elephants and cows serving the temples, various temples. And then if you see the story of the elephant, I forgot the temple again, and that the elephant, even though it's on the verge of death, it's going to die already, but it doesn't want to let the new elephant to carry the deity. I think it's a Perumal deity somewhere. I totally forgot the temple. It actually carried the deity from one place to one place after it fulfilled the duty, and it went away and then left the body there. So can you imagine what kind of birth that the animal will get in the next life? All right, so we can take care the animals that we have around us. When I used to have a dog, I give them prasadam. So we can do this, right? Like Kajai Mataji's friend joins our Gita Gyan. So it's a great fortune, okay, for him. My dog has attended all level 1 and level 2 classes of VG. So yeah. How about people who talk bad of other religions? Yeah, actually, the religion is not bad, but these people's qualities, right? Even we know that in Nabi Muhammad has in various places mentioned that you should offer respect, show respect to other faiths. So if they do not follow their own saints' words, then I don't know what to say. Only God can judge them. Okay. All right. So we have covered this one, right? Okay, so let's move on, yeah. So it's clear, right? The fate of the demonic nature. Okay, so you can see here, these are cannibals, right? So what happens to them? They're gonna go down and down and down and down until somebody maybe accidentally give them prasadam or what, I don't know. Okay, only the causeless mercy of Krishna or devotees can save these beings. All right, causeless mercy means there is no reason. It's not because of your past pious activity or karma activity. I mean, it plays a role, but it's costless. You'll never know. Okay. Okay. Point 21. Jagadish Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. 16.21. Trivizyam narakashedam varam nashanam atmana kamarodashtata lobash tasmat etatrayet yajet. There are three gates leading to this hell, which is lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul.
Okay. So we are learning about three gates leading to this hell. Okay. Lust, greed, and anger. So yeah, we are at the section where we are to make a choice to escaping to the supreme destination. We learned about divine qualities, we learned about demonic qualities, and we learned about the destiny of these two beings. I mean, there are only two beings and the destiny of two beings. So there are like 4 things we have covered so far. And then the 5th thing now we are covering, escaping to the supreme destination, means getting free from demonic qualities. So this verse is describing the beginning of demoniac life. So you understand the demoniac life, it's starting from something. There is a point where these demonic qualities are starting. All right, so these qualities are lust, anger, and greed. Okay, so basically it starts from lust. So how the greed and anger comes later, okay, I will explain. So when we hear about, the point is here is that when we hear about these qualities, we will think how to avoid them. Okay, because we are seeing the result of the demonic qualities, and then we think we don't want these things to happen to me. So this is what the text 21 is telling us. Okay, how to escape? First, you need to know when you have a problem statement, right? You know where is the problem. There is some short circuit in your appliance. You want to remove that. So you cannot make adjustment. You cannot have a lot of symptomatic release of the appliance. You have to get to the root and remove that short circuit wire or whatever yang sudah malfunction. So Yeah, so we have to think how to avoid such qualities, lust, anger, and greed. So the most dangerous is lust. All right. So when we speak of lust in a more elaborate context, it's not just an attraction or attachment between a male and female. So lust basically means the desire, excessive desire to enjoy material objects. Okay, it is the beginning of the degradation of the soul. So why there is the impact of lust? When we become lusty of things or people, we just want more of such thing, correct? So when your lust, okay, you have a desire, and then when the desire becomes so unlimited or excessive or intense, it turns into lust. And then when you satisfy the lust, what happens? So people will say, okay, I will just do this one time. No, I will just do this one more time. Okay, last. So actually what happens after that? Most probably they want to do more, because lust satisfied leads to greed. What happens when lust is not satisfied? You get angry. So both anger and greed are related to lust. So the way my Guru Maharaj explained is that anger and lust are anger and greed are like younger brothers of lust. Lust is the older brother, then comes the anger and greed. Okay, so Krishna is warning here us that we need to be careful to avoid this. All right, avoid means give up, because they lead to the degradation of the soul. So how do we come over this? Okay, so if we observe, if we notice that we have the greed and anger is increasing in us, we need to turn around the situation, change the situation. So like my Guru Maharaj explained, grab the chanting beads, go out and chant, go to the park, go to the garden, chant loudly. You can pick up Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam and read out aloud. Read loudly and don't stop until you feel that you might be becoming more peaceful. So this is the tips that he gave. All right. So because lust, anger, and greed, they are taking us into the darkest region of ignorance, and we want to stay away from this and be very careful of these things. Okay, so just a little recap. So lust is in a broader perspective. You have to look at the broader perspective. It means it's just not the attraction to opposite gender. It's our endeavor for anything that is not proper or in excess. Okay, lust satisfied lead to greed. Lust not satisfied lead to anger. Anything above what we need is already lust. It could be power or position, beauty. That is lust. Okay. All right. So we can see a lot of people around us, right? Their degradation, a lot of disturbances created because of this. Okay. Chanting works. Anger with my husband. Okay. Okay. Happy for you, Mataji. Congratulations. Yeah. Actually, sometimes when we cannot change the situation around us, we can change ourselves. All right. So it will emit, right? Love, emit the love. Okay. So these are 2 points. All right. 3 gates to hell. Every sane man should give this up. So this is the point. This is what we want to learn from our problem statement. All right. Point 23. Yes, Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 16:23. Ya shastra vidin utstrijya vartate kamakarataha nasasidam avapnote na sukham na param gatim. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So these are the results of not following sastras. So in 24, Krishna will say what is the need to follow the sastras. In 23, Krishna is saying the result of not following the sastras. So basically, if one disregards scriptural injunction and acts whimsically, there is neither perfection or they cannot achieve the supreme destination. So let's see, what is the Sastra Vidhim? Sastra Vidhim means direction of Sastra, rules, injunctions. These are prescribed for different castes and orders, different classes of people and different orders. So different group, they have different injunction based on their duties and their nature and everything. All right. So the purpose is for gradual spiritual elevation. So how do they do this? The process is apply the knowledge, know the tattva of the Lord, and then ultimately they'll come to a point where they will serve the Lord. So this is the purpose of the sastra vidhi. Vidhi means rules, right? Vidhi is also a Tamil word, right? Okay, and then we have this kama karataha. Kama karata means acting whimsically. So these people, they violate the rule, acts in lust, based on lust, on the lust platform. Okay, so Lord Bhagwan is describing the importance of following the instruction. Okay, and then if you don't follow, what happens? There are a few things happening here. Na sa siddhim. Na sa siddhim means you can't get any perfection. And then next is na sukham. Na sukha means no happiness. Everyone wants happiness, yes, but you're not going to get it because you didn't follow the scriptures. So that is what Krishna is indicating here. Na sa siddhim, na sukham, na param gatim. Para means supreme abode. Okay, you are not going to get the supreme destination. Okay, you won't get to the spiritual world. In other words, you will not leave the material world. That's what it means. All right, na sa siddhim, na sukham, na param gatim. Okay, one who disregards sastra vidhi, you understand, right? If I use the Sanskrit term, one who disregards sastra vidhi and then act kama karata, whimsically, they will not get siddhim, nasa siddhim, no perfection, no happiness, na sukham, na param gatim. All right, so this is the point. They attain neither perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. So Krishna is encouraging us to follow the scriptures. If you don't follow them, we bring ourselves into trouble. All right, so results of not following the sastra. So what are those activities? Gambling, illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, all come from here. Okay, 24. Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tasmachastram pramanam te karya vyavastitau nyatva sastra vidanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. The translation: one should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated.
All right, thank you, Mataji. Yes, so this is the ultimatum of following the sastras. So earlier we saw the result of not following the sastra. What are the three things? Na sa siddhim, na sukham, na paramam gatim. No perfection, no happiness, no supreme destination. And then if you follow the sastras, what do we get? We may gradually be elevated. No happiness, no perfection, no super. Of course, Mataji, your memory is superb. All right, so 23 was what happens if you disregard the scriptural injunction, and according you disregard the sastra vidhi, and then you according to the kama karata, right? So those are the two terms. All right, so and then in 24, what is the need to follow the sastra? To control and regulate these demonic qualities. So this will help us to regulate and control. And what is the purpose? The purpose is for gradual elevation. If you want to understand mathematics, we want to go to the mathematics teacher. If you want to learn about spiritual knowledge, then we want to go to a bona fide spiritual teacher. All right. And we want to learn about spiritual matters. We have to go and look for spiritual books, scriptural injunctions, scriptural Vedic scriptures. And the rules and regulations are meant to be followed. And the rules and regulations are meant to invoke love for Godhead. That should be the ultimate purpose of it. Okay, so we all have duty, and we must know what our duty and how to perform our duty based on these scriptures. Okay, so the scripture is telling us that we are eternally to be servants of Krishna. Remember our swarup. In the beginning we learned, right, our constitutional position. Okay, so according to the regulation of the scriptures, we should all act to please Krishna. Until then, you will not get the ultimate happiness, the ultimate satisfaction. Okay, so if we follow the rules and regulation of scriptures, then we can be elevated to either higher planets or simply out of the material world, because the higher planets are also in the material world, isn't it? And then it's either we can be elevated to higher planets or into the kingdom of God. Krishna's planets, Krishna's spiritual planet, Vaikuntha planet or Goloka. Okay, these are all spiritual planets. Okay, so nobody can be elevated if he disobeys the teachings of the scriptures. So Lord has given the laws and rules. The Vedas has, the scriptures has, the Bhakti Sastras has, the Veda Sastras also have it. Okay, so he's telling all the while, Krishna is telling, now we are in chapter 16, from 2 to 16, Krishna is telling what we should be doing. Okay, so we want to follow that. Okay, so demonic people, they don't like to follow scripture. They think, I know everything by myself. You don't have to tell me anything, because that's how they think. When they think like that, then their life will be full of miseries. Okay, so one time somebody showed that, you want to show me God? I will show you what is God. And then he will take out the money and say, this money is God. Okay, so we can ask back, if money is God, then why the richest people in the world are committing suicide? Right? People are dying. All right. So yeah, money is not God, definitely. Okay, it cannot give us ultimate happiness. Okay, so we finished the last slide, last sloka. So one fun fact is that this one. In Satya Yuga, demons and demigods were in different planets. Okay, they were in different planets. They are in different planets and they are in heavenly planets. They are different planets. In Treta Yuga, demons and demigods were in different cities. Can you give me an example? Who were in different cities in Treta Yuga? Which pastime took place in Treta Yuga, Matajis? Anybody? Which pastime? Let's see. Yes. So Ram in different place, Ravan is in a different place. So they were in different cities. How about Dwapara Yuga? Demons and demigods were in the same family. Kamsa is Krishna's uncle, and there is Sisupala, and there is Duryodhana. These are all cousins and families. Okay, in Kali Yuga, the demon and divine qualities are in the same person. Remember the two wolves, bad wolf and the good wolf, which one we want to feed. So yeah, so this is how we have progressed. The demon is, sometimes we say we're fighting our own demons. Okay. Okay, let's recap. So what we covered here is transcendental demonic qualities. Krishna described 26 divine qualities, which is applicable and more prominent for different ashramas: brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. And then Krishna briefly mentioned about 6 demonic qualities. Can we have that acronym again, and the terms? Now hafal already, right? Can you go put it in one go, Apache? Can you put it in one go? So we have all the 6. Let's wait for a while. Try not to refer the book, yeah? A, P, A, C. Satu missing, Mataji. Harshness. Yes. Anybody else would like to try? That's correct already. Anger, pride, arrogance, conceit, harshness, ignorance. Okay, yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, it's good to practice. And then the destiny of the divine and demonic beings. So divine attain liberation, the demonic gets bondage. Okay. So next. So you see the demonic nature, the next section. So Krishna assures that Arjuna possessed divine qualities. Why? What is one point I covered today? Why Krishna assures that Arjuna possessed divine qualities? What was that Arjuna exhibited or displayed? What quality is that? Based on what? What is the basis? Anyone? Can just unmute and tell also. He considered something. What is that? No? No, Mataji. Okay, humbleness. What else? Anybody else? What else? what he considered that Krishna used that as the basis. Remember, Arjuna considered the pros and cons. He was thinking whether this great personalities like Bhishma and Drona should be killed. Yeah, so this is how he considered the pros and cons, and therefore he is divine. He possessed divine qualities, and he is killing is transcendental. It's not demonic. All right. So that's how. Yeah. Yes. Yes. These are the qualities that he had. Okay, and then Krishna described the activities, mentalities, and qualities of demonic tendencies. Remember the Mahabharata picture there, right? So all those things. And then what happens to them? They are perpetually casted into demonic and abominable species of lives. Okay, and then we went to solve the problem. We have a problem and we want to solve the problem. And then we identified there were 3 problems where all the demonic qualities coming from. So can we put in one go? What are these 3? With the sequence. Starts from what? Right. Yes. Last satisfied, you have greed. Last not satisfied is anger. Okay. Very good, Mataji. Thank you. And then we saw how to understand what is duty, what is not duty based on the scriptures. So we act accordingly. And as we do that, it will provide us with purification and elevation. Okay, either to higher planets, remember, or simply out of this material world. So either way, we are being elevated and thus attain supreme destination. Okay, so we have 7 more minutes. We can skip Japa today. I want to explain this. Has anybody heard of this story, or nobody has heard of this story? This is to show how demonic qualities are countered, counteract in this age. So this is a story of Jagai and Madai. These 2 personalities appeared during Mahaprabhu's pastime, when Mahaprabhu was here, when Krishna came as Mahaprabhu here. So it seems these 2, Lord Nityananda, okay, the thing is, Mahaprabhu likes to encourage his associates to go out and preach and ask people to chant the holy name. Okay, so he told, so Lord Garanga, with great feeling of love in his heart, told Lord Nityananda. Oh, I see. Mataji, would you like to narrate? Oh, can you ask your son to narrate? Is that possible, Mataji?
Sorry. Gave me the a summary. Our friend is already on bed right now. Sorry.
I see.
But
Do you want
something
to?
about no. It's just something about a drunken man.
Yes, that's the
Stuff
one.
like that. Sorry, I didn't really catch the story.
Want to try?
No. Sorry. I don't know the story properly. So.
All right, never
Go
mind. This
ahead.
will reinforce your understanding. All right. Okay, so Mahaprabhu asked his good friend Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur to go every house. You beg everybody to take the names of Krishna. You don't have to say anything else to them, but simply chant the holy names. Okay, so Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur. If you remember who is this Haridas Thakur, if you remember the story of the prostitute that became devotee just by she coming and hearing Haridas Thakur chanting, yeah, so this is the same person, Haridas Thakur. That is why he's given the title Nama Acharya, right? So they accepted this order of Mahaprabhu and they will go to house. They will go to everybody's house. They will not say, oh, this is rich people, this is righteous people, this is cultured people, this is a spiritual people, religious people. They don't see that, or clean people or dirty house. They don't see that. They go to everybody and they fold arms and beg them to chant. Okay, so this is how they will beg them. Kindly chant the holy names of Krishna. Please worship Krishna, because it is Krishna who is your only shelter, your only friend, and he is the supreme treasure of wealth in your life. And if they refuse, what they do, they fall on their feet and they will beg them, please take the name of Krishna. It is your only hope. They will beg them. So it seems there were true drunkards. They have done all kind of sinful activity. They disturb ladies, they they do a lot of things, a lot of abominable activity. It seems that there's nothing they have not done. All right, there wasn't a single sin that they had not committed. So when Lord Nityananda saw this, he approached them. Please chant the holy names of Krishna. Your life is so much of full of sinful activities. Okay, suffering is awaiting you. So please chant. He's your only shelter. And then as he speaks like this, they don't really bother about him. And then what happens was, incident will happen, right? He will chase Lord Nityananda, and Lord Nityananda had to run away, and then they have to come again, because Lord Nityananda is so compassionate, he's so merciful. He knows that these guys are so sinful, we have to save him, so he will come back again. So when he comes back, these two guys will be thinking, hey, you have come back, you're not scared, you have so much of guts to come back and talk to us. So conversation took place, and one of the guy, he took a pot with the liquor, right? They were drinking. So they took the pot and heat it on and crashed the pot over the head of Nityananda. So the news went to Mahaprabhu, right? The people reported the incident to Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu rushed. He became angry. Actually, Mahaprabhu doesn't get angry, but what happens is that when his devotees were attacked, that's where he got angry. So he came, he was so enraged that his eyes burnt red as hot coals, and with raging fire, he ran to the scene of the crime and lifted his finger and called out Chakra, because he's Lord Vishnu himself, right? Krishna himself. And Sudarshan Chakra came and wanted to devour these sinful brothers. And they got so terrified. So it was described that Sudarshan Chakra was as brilliant, like millions of suns ready to sever their heads. And seeing that, they became very sober and fearful. All right. But Lord Nityananda stopped Mahaprabhu and he said, dear Lord, you did not come to kill the demons, because the world is full of demons. You can't be going on killing them just like what you have done in the past. But you have come here to give the holy name so you can kill the demonic qualities. So you're not here to kill the demons. Okay, so how to kill or remove the demonic qualities is by chanting the holy name, which is what the Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur were begging everybody to do. So, so that way Mahaprabhu became pacified and he forgave them, and repenting their mistakes, their sins or action, they have actually taken up the service to build a bathing place near Ganga, so that they can serve all the devotees that come to Ganga to perform their religious activities. So that's how they turned to become a good devotees after that. Okay, so this is just to reiterate the fact that in Satya Yuga, demons and demigods were in different planets. In Treta Yuga, they were in different cities. In Dwapara, they were in same family, and in Kali is in the same person. So if you want to kill everybody just because they have demonic quality, then nobody will live. All right, so what we can do is we take up to this process to purify, to cleanse these demonic qualities. So that's the only way to save everybody. All right, so that's about it, or sharp 9. Okay, so Bhagavatam, please try to get Bhagavatam. If if you go on to the next level, we will use Bhagavatam. Okay, and hope everybody has Bhagavad Gita. So I will share the quiz. In the meantime, anybody has any questions or any comments, or you want to add anything, also can. Okay, sent already. Yeah, I tried today, and again it didn't show the score, so I highlighted to the admin. They have done the correction, so I tried again. Now it can show the score. You can see the score.